Well, hello. It's finally come to pass. I am picking up where I left off on my hike through New Hampshire. I just got dropped off where Brian and I left off on our hike. There he goes. When Brian and I left off our hike in December, we ended just shy of Moose Mountain in Hanover. I am going to walk up this little access road and eventually connect with the AT, which will bring me up Moose Mountain. And I'm going to follow the AT for the next 80 miles or so up to Crawford Notch. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm planning to take 8 days to do this section because there is going to be some challenging parts. There's going to be like 4,000 feet of elevation gain per day as I get into the meat and potatoes of this hike. Today, though, is not going to be as much. I'm only planning to do 8 miles today and probably end up at the Trapper John shelter, but we'll see how I'm feeling. Today I think is only like 20 something 100 miles elevation gain, so not too bad. And easing into it, especially since I'm getting a late start. It's like 2:47 right now. I do have the advantage of it's early July and there's a lot more daylight, so it doesn't get dark probably till, I don't know, after 9 o'clock nowadays. I'm feeling a little bit nervous about this hike. One, it's kind of the longest stretch that I've ever done without kind of like stopping in town, because I am just doing a resupply cache halfway through, which I've never really done before. But my goal is to not really stay anywhere. I might change my mind as I go, but it's also probably going to be some of the hardest hiking I've ever done, like in a lengthy stretch. Because I mean, I've had tough days, but all in a row, I think this is going to be more challenging than stuff I've done before. So hence, I'm giving myself plenty of time to do it. If you're new to my channel and don't know what I mean by hiking through New Hampshire, I am trying to hike through every single New England state, south and north, and there isn't one trail that you can do that with in New Hampshire, whereas like Vermont has the Long Trail and Mass and Connecticut have the AT and the New England Trail. New Hampshire has a bunch of different trails that do sort of connect to each other, but not all of them do. Some of them you end up having to do some road walking to connect them, which is what I did last winter, because I had already hiked the Metacomet Monadnock Trail in New Hampshire up to Mount Monadnock, and I had already done the Monadnock Sunapee Greenway, which got me to Mount Sunapee. Then I did part of the Sunapee Ragged Kearsarge Trail, which brought me to a road. And then I did a couple day hikes where I did a bunch of road walking and snowmobile trails and stuff to connect to this parking lot I just departed from. So that's why I'm starting from this spot, which is a little bit off the AT. And then once I get to Crawford Notch, that is where the Cohos Trail picks up, which is another long distance trail which goes all the way to the Canadian border. So I will do that on a future date, but for now, just checking off sort of the AT section of my hike through New Hampshire. So here we are in the Shumway Forest. So we're gonna hike up this way and this will eventually connect with the AT. It's a little wet through here. We have recently had quite a bit of rain. I think this is going to be a recurring theme on this hike between all the rain we already got. And then I don't think it's done. I think we're gonna get more rain by the time this week is through. We have joined the AT. I think we've been hiking a little over a mile. We are now about to head up to Moose Mountain South Peak. So it's going to be our first climb for the day. Woo! First peak done. All right, nice view. Woo! I think I'm going to take a little break up here. And then Brian wants me to look for some evidence of a plane crash site that happened in 1968. But supposedly there's probably no wreckage left, just some eerily discolored rocks. So I will look for that after I take a little breather.
Not sure I want to go down here. I usually have to put on tick spray before I go out here.
I don't know exactly where. Somewhere over there, they said, is where Northeast Flight 946 crashed in 1968. So Northeast, bad track record. Unfortunately, they didn't really last that much longer after that. They merged with Delta, but another issue of pilot error. And you can see a piece of that. I don't know. Brian would know more about what the parts are. But there's some scraps I found over here. Not too much left of this one. And there's that. It's covered with ants. But yeah, not too much left of this. So I didn't film a ton up there because I ran into two older gentlemen that were on day hikes, and I was chatting with them a little bit about the plane crash site. So they kind of pointed out that there was still some wreckage up here, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it would all be gone. I had only read that there was just some discoloration in the rocks, but I didn't actually see much of that. It was more just like I saw pieces. So that plane crash was 1968, and they were headed toward, oh gosh, I forget the city in Vermont now. And they came from Boston, and again, the pilot was flying too low, and they crashed on the side of the mountain. 32 lives were lost, 10 people survived that were in the back of the plane. But yeah, pretty sad. Still have 6-ish miles to get to where I plan to stay the night. And it's a little after 4 o'clock. So I should be able to make it with plenty of time before dark. So I'm still gonna shoot for that. Oh, and here's the north peak of Moose Mountain. So I'm about halfway into today's hike and feeling pretty good. Feeling a little hungry though, so I'm gonna stop here for a snack and enjoy this little peekaboo view. So that mountain that we can see right there, that is Smarts Mountain, and I will be climbing that tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. Oh, hello. Sorry, I didn't realize I was in Vermud. Oh, look at the little guy. He's so small. Very much appreciating this flat stretch of trail right here. And boardwalks. We love boardwalks. I remember walking through wet grass and falling a step behind. Both of us never doubting, desperately wanting. That was really fun. But now we go back up. This is a challenging climb to end on. It's not like it's super technical, it's just kind of just relentless. Up and up and up. I'm almost there. I'm less than 2 miles from camp. And there's a place called Holt Ledge that's before that I might stop and take a little break. Guessing there's a view up there, so not too much longer. Don't like the sound of that thunder. It's been low grumbling all day, but now it sounds like it's getting closer. And I'm going up right now, so if it gets much closer, we might have to do a little hunkering down. Okay, now we have pouring rain to contend with, so umbrella might need to come out. Okay, this is an adventure. It is pouring. I have my poncho on and over my pack, and I have my umbrella, and I'm a little scared to keep going because I don't know if the top of whatever this is exposed, and I don't want to be the highest thing. So I think I'm gonna just hunker down here for a few minutes and see if this dies down a little bit. I think it's died down a little bit. I'm going to venture forward and see how far I get. I'm still about 1.3 away from camp, and I still have to summit this peak of whatever this is. I just came up to the top of this PUD, and whew, I am so hungry. I think what I'm gonna do is stop at that Holt Ledge and make my dinner up there, because wow, that took a lot out of me. That climb, and then with the rain and everything. Almost there. Wow, what a view. Holy cow. Sorry this is so dark. It's started raining pretty good and thundering when I was up on Holt's Ledge. But I was able to make dinner, and I ate about half of it. And I was starting to get cold, and being wet and cold is not a good combo, so I decided to pack away the rest of it and keep hiking and try and get to this shelter and get warm. But it is very hazy up here right now. This is not going to show up well on camera, but it looks like the sky is on fire. Just seeing the sunset through the trees combined with the haze, it's really something. It almost makes it look like the trail is lit by candle. This is all very reminiscent of the long trail for me. Lots of trotting and mud and puddles. hopefully I am going to be arriving at the shelter pretty soon, and I can get into dry clothes, dry hammock, warm, dry quilts. This looks like a good place as any to hang my hammock in the rain on the AT. Well, I'm in my hammock for the night. Today was kind of insane at the end there with the rain and the cold. All of a sudden, it was quite a relief to be able to climb into my hammock and get into dry clothes. But from what I saw, the weather tomorrow is supposed to be nicer. So I'm really looking forward to that because I am going to be climbing Smarts Mountain. So that will be good. Thank you for watching and good night.